guys, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to create different text effects in Canva. It's really important when you're making your KDP books, the titles on your books, that you're not just taking a font, spelling out whatever your title is and leaving it like that. You really need to pay attention to the design of your book, and especially the font. We want everything on the cover of that book to be really special and stand out so that it appeals to the customers. So here I am in Canva, so welcome to Canva. So I'm going to create a design. It really doesn't matter what size I'm going to use right now, but let me go to inches, and we'll just say the 8 by 5 by 11 since that'll be quick. So let me go up here and remove the margins, what you're seeing right here on my paper. I don't really need that for what I'm doing today. So let's go over to text and let's pick some type of font. And what's really cool about Canva, they have so many different fonts on here. Like these are some that they have paired up for you that just look cool together. But you can also, let's just say, let's add a heading, and you can go up here and look at all of these fonts that you can choose from. There are so many, and so many really cool ones. You could type in the type of font that you're looking for, or you have some choices given to you right here across the top. We've got handwriting, a corporate, display, headings, paragraph, sans serif, modern, bold, vintage, cool, retro. So it just gives you so many different ways to find the font that you're looking for rather than having to scroll down through all of them. So it's really enjoyable, and I would encourage you to really go through the different fonts and just find things that make your work unique. So right now this is Love You Like a Sister, which isn't going to work for what I'm doing. So let me get rid of that one. So let's change the font to something that will work pretty good in here. Let's see. You still get so many fonts even if you're using the free version of Canva or the pro version of Canva. Bobby Jones. Let's just pick Bobby Jones. Okay, let me make this quite a bit bigger. I think I lost my D or my Y here. Little bit bigger. I'll leave it like that. That's fine. I'm going to stretch it over here. Okay. You can also upload your own fonts to Canva. Let me go in here. And the way you do that, you can just click right down here where it says upload a font, and it takes you into the brand kit. And so any fonts that you may have on your computer that you've made yourself or you've purchased, you can search for those and upload straight from your computer or Mac. So that's a really cool feature. Okay, so let's go back down here. I already got a heading, so let me get rid of that one. Okay, so let's go up here to effects, and this is none, which is what is currently showing. This next effect is called shadow, and what it does, let me enlarge this page so we can see a little bit better. You can see that right now there's a gray shadow behind it. Okay, so you can, if you're going to print in color, you can change the color of this shadow back here. By going down here and picking a color, so you can kind of see, this is one of my favorite colors. I just pick it all the time. It has changed it from the gray to a blue. Here's an orange or pink salmon color. Yeah, you can just change it to anything that you want to. So I'm going to go back to the blue. And right here you have some controls. This is the offset. So if you notice, the shadow gets a little bit closer to the letter here till it's, well, I got my keyboard in the way, till it's basically gone. or you can bring it back the other way and make it really stand out a little bit more. So since this is a purpose for the shadow, we'll leave it like that. We can change the direction. Right now we've got it over on the right side. We can bring it down towards the bottom and off to the left, and then even up to the top. So it's whatever really appeals to you, what you do with this. Then you can also, actually I like it to the left better than to the right. Then you've got a blur, so you can kind of make it so you see how you can see it pretty well right there onto the left. If you blur it, it kind of fades a little bit, and to me it starts to look like raised letters. But let's go ahead and we'll put that back over there, so we've got that little shadow off to the left. Okay, so I think that's really cool. So the next effect we have here is the lift, which we kind of made ourselves when we were doing the shadow. So if you look, it's kind of got this black or this grayish color here, this kind of shadowy, that makes it look like it's been lifted off of the paper. If we go up here to colors, you can change the color of the text, but you can't change the color of the shadow. No matter which color you pick, that shadow is always going to be kind of that grayish color. Okay, so let's go back to one of my favorite colors again. All right, so here you've got a control of intensity. So you can remove it so it basically just looks like flat text, or you can bring that up so that it really starts to look like it rises off of that page a little bit more. And it makes that shadow around there a little darker. I don't like that. I think right about in the middle, maybe right about there's perfect. Okay, so the next effect on here is hollow, right there. And you can change the color of your letters again, but with hollow it's always going to be white inside here. Okay, so let me get back to effects. You can change the thickness in hollow. You can make your letters, the outline, a little thicker or a little thinner, whichever way that you like it. Now the thing about hollow though, if you go up to elements and you pick something, oh, I don't know, let's just say animal. Whoops, I can't spell animal. Okay, and I just want a graphic, basic little. See how with hollow, you can see the lines of the rabbit through the letters rather than just being white. So like if you wanted this for a coloring book, it's not the best effect to use because you can see the outline. And that's even if you go and you pick position, it's on the top currently. I can put it behind the image, but I don't think anybody really wants it like that. Or I can bring it forward, but I cannot not see the lines of this little rabbit or other image that you would have back there. So let's get rid of our little bunny here, even though he's super cute. So one thing you can do with this effect, you can click duplicate. So now we've got it duplicated, and then you can move this however you want to try to make an effect with it. So you can, like right there, I mean, you can do whatever, I guess, if you wanted to do that, but you can move it around so it makes just a little bit of an effect, kind of a 3D effect is what it looks like to me. You can change the color of this font like that, and then you can, whether you want it like this, down off a little bit. But anyway, you can play with that, move it around, and kind of get some effect that you really like. Now, let me get up here. Okay, so the next one is splice. So if you were wanting to make a coloring book and like you had a picture in the background and then you wanted words on top like they do in some of those affirmation books or something, this is the effect you would want to use for that. You can take this pink, and if we make that white, that's going to take out that pink that was in these letters. But unlike the hollow one, if we put an image, go back up here to image, let's pick our little rabbit again. This time you don't see the lines of the rabbit in here, but I've got to, we can change the thickness of these letters, but right here, if you see where that little rabbit's back there, you can see this kind of offset right here. So you can control that offset so that you move that clear in here so that now you don't see any of the lines of the rabbit. You can change the thickness of your letters again, any way that you want them. Probably right about there for Mother's Day. Now, if you're using colors for your book, I'm sure all of you know that it's going to cost a little bit more to use colors. So I've just got this right here so that you can see the difference between the image here and the font up here. But let's just take our image and make it, our font, and make it black. So there you go. Now, just a little reminder, even though that's not really what this video is about, but always change up your graphics. Don't just take a graphic, plop it on here, and say you're good to go. You need to add other things inside along with it to change it up and really make it yours. And that's how we avoid all of us having the same thing in our books that we offer, whether it's KDP or somewhere else. Okay, so you always have got to add something, whether maybe this little rabbit's going to say something, maybe you're going to throw in some flowers because it's Easter, or eggs, or whatever. You know, whatever you're doing, you've got to change this up. Please don't do this. This is not very appealing. I'm just showing you how you've got to add other elements and things to really make this coloring book yours and unique from anybody else's, so that we don't have customers who are disappointed in the product and then they're going to leave you a bad review. Okay, so let me pull this back off of here. So that's really easy, quick way to make your lettering for your coloring books. If you're doing like any of those inspiration books or some type of book where you want letters on top of a graphic, this works really well. Let's try a couple different text. Let's see, I'm using Bobby Jones. I don't know if any of you guys remember Bobby Jones, but I do. He was one of the monkeys. So anyway, let's try, that's kind of nice looking. I like that one. What's that called? Atma Medium. Let's go down and pick another one. I just want to see what some of the different fonts look like. Of course, that one's going to be great. Here's some bloody looking thing. For Halloween, that might be very awesome. Let's go to, I just want to see some of the vintage ones. As you can see, it works well with a lot of fonts. Seems like most of them, as long as they're, let me go down here and try a couple others. Something that you would think maybe wouldn't work. How about this one? Let me see if we can get rid of any of this in here when we have this font. When you narrow this down, you can get rid of some of that blackness in there because that's way too black anyway. But that's not really a font that I would choose. I just wanted to see what some of the different ones would look like. And that's why playing around with things might really help you make a design that's really unique and different. And that's part of the fun, I think, of KDP, is when we just keep trying things and come up with something new and different each time. Because you don't want your everything that you put out to be the same, to look the same, or it's going to get old quickly. And that's one of the things I find fun about KDP. I enjoy the creative process. And that's what makes it fun and interesting, so that I keep coming back and doing it. Yes, it's the sales, but it's also just the fun of doing it. Okay, I think I've got a capital, yeah, that, okay. So anyway, I think this is a really cool and helpful effect, and that's called the splice. The next effect is called the echo, and if you look really closely, you can see that you've got the black, then you've got a darker gray, and then there's even a little bit darker gray here, and then a lighter gray. And this is called the echo. And you can't change the original color of the lettering, but you can change all these echo colors back in here. And once again, you have the controls here that you can offset it kind of to where you want to. You can make it so that it's not there at all. You can put it so it just barely shows, or make it really thick and show. You can change the direction once again, where it's to the left or the right or the top or the bottom. Okay, but you just cannot change the top coloring. But I think it's a really cool effect. Okay, so next we have, let me thin this back down a little bit again. So the next choice or option that we have is the glitch effect. Now let's make this one big again, and you can see that it gives you a couple choices down here. So you can have this, I don't know, what is that, a light teal and a hot pink color, or a teal and a red color. And then again, you have your controls that you can kind of make things bigger. I like to make this a little smaller so I can see the whole thing when I'm doing it. Okay, so you can make it so that all the colors really show and they're thick, or you can bring it back down to where nothing hardly shows. Let's try this one. It's kind of cool. And then again, change the direction, right side, bottom, top, left, and so on. Okay? Let's bring this offset over here. You can make it, see how the pink goes to the right and now the blue's on the left, and then you can switch it so that the pink's on the left and the blue is more on the right. Okay? Or up. Whatever you want to do. I think I kind of like that one. Another thing that you can do, if you click on your text spacing, the default is 0, but you can spread this out, bring it back together. If you want to switch the line spacing, make it closer together, further apart, that's an option that you always have. So let's go back up to effects. The next one we have is neon. I don't want that color, so let me go up here to the text color, back to my favorite, and let's make it a little bit smaller so we can see everything here. And so you have the control of the intensity with you can bring it up, okay, you get more of the, when you bring it down, you get more of the letters with just kind of a shadowy around them, but the more you intensify it, the letters become sharper and sharper and the shadow less and less. I think I kind of like it right about there. That's kind of neat too, and that's what I mean. You can just play with things until you get things just the way that you like them. Let's see what happens if let's change the color. We've got green here, the pink, and then let's go back up to the effects, and let's go clear till we got it in the white. So now we made our letters clear white, and then we can change the background shadowy color that's behind it, which is a really cool effect. So the next effect that Canva offers you is the curve. Right here is nothing. Here's the curve. So you can make so it can curve down, so it can curve up, or let me bring this down a little bit. So it curves up a little bit, and it gives you this circle to kind of has a guide to make sure that you've got it all in a line and curving in the right angles. So like if I were to, let me go to elements, let's put in a circle. Okay, I don't know if, let me make the circle a little bit bigger. Whoops. So let's say that I want this, now I probably need to shrink up my font or my text a little bit. Okay, but say I want this text to follow the shape of this circle. So then go back up here to text. Here we are on our curve line. And so I'm going to try to bring it right down here. I'm going to curve it a little bit more so it stays on here, and then bring it a little bit more till you get it just where you want it. Okay, so that's if like you wanted it to curve this way. You can, like I said, curve it up towards the top also. So let me bring that up so we can see it. Happy Mother's Day. Let's curve that just a little bit more. There. Then you can put something else in here, some type of element, a bunch of flowers. You could print this as a card if you wanted to. You could use this as a page, as a cover. It's just totally up to you. You can change the color of these flowers while we're in here. Let's change those to white. There we go. I use this quite a bit when I'm doing designs for my Redbubble store. I use it stickers, I use it on cards, I use it on t-shirts. We could also, let me take the flowers out for a minute. I think I'll use something different. I like to use at least 2 fonts in things, but sometimes 3, but no more than 3. Let's go up to effects and let's bend this one the other way. Okay, so we've got it bending, but it's not quite where it's going to come all the way down without these coming off of the circle. So let's bend it a little bit more, and let's bring it down here. There we are in the center of our page again. Looks like we need up. Okay. It threw it on 2 lines now for us, and we don't want that. Okay, to the best mother in the world. Let's kind of move it till we've got it in the center. There we go. And then let's go back up here and grab our flowers that we had. Now you see with this effect and this one, this is the neon. You can see that this image is staying behind our lettering, so that's good. So once again, we can leave it black, turn it white, gray. We can, if we want to go down here and put an effect on this wording down here, we can do that. But I kind of like the difference in this having the shadow. I kind of like the difference between this having the effect up here and this not having any down here. We could change. I don't think I like those in pink, but it's interesting. But if you wanted this text to have the same effect as this up here, you would click on this, go up here to this paintbrush, copy the style, go down here and click on that. It did a couple things. It gave it the effect that was on the top, it gave it the shape, and it also gave it the same size. So we would need to shrink this one back down just a little bit and change the curve, and then let's get it back in the middle. But that's, I think, a fairly easy way to get the same effect. Okay, so while we're in here, another thing that you can do is edit the image, and it will take you to this field. So there's a lot of different options that they give you in here. Depending on what your image is, decides what options that they give you. So right here it's showing me these are mock-ups, but here's some trippy images, dual tones, splice, screen, pixelate, liquify. Okay, here's filters, grayscale. So let's go back off the filters and we go back past the mock-up and we can come down here to the glow. Once you click the glow, when it gives it this real blurry, here are the controls for that in here so that you can adjust how you would like it, kind of the same way we did with the fonts. It's giving you a little bit more control over the image here. The blur, this was the transparency, this one is the size. See how that shadow comes, it can get further away from your image or you can bring it a little bit closer to your image. So let's go back over here. So we've got shadows, we've got drop. That kind of gives it that drop effect that it looks like it stands a little bit off the paper. So we've got the offset of it. See where the shadow kind of moves up and down. You've got the angle. It kind of turns it from left to right if you look. See that? And of course, again, the transparency and the blur. Let's go back again. Now we've got angle. It turned a little bit just when I clicked on that. So here's our, it's just turning that shadow again. Transparency, blur, and once again the color. Then what else do we have over here? It says see all, let's see. Okay, so let's try, maybe if we remove this picture, even though I really like that, but let's put something else in there. Let's put a, what's something, mother? Let's just put a mug in there. Let's put this, oh, that's a big one. It's a really big mug. It's going to be a lot of coffee. So let's put that in there for a minute. Okay, so we're going to go up here to edit image. And let's go back to, okay, let's do glow first. So it kind of gave shadow all around it here. So we can decide on that size. We want that to be thicker. If you want it more transparent, you know, you want it to be really dark and heavy, or do you want it to be a little lighter touch? And then, of course, the blur. You can kind of see that. Let's make it a little heavier. And then let's move the blur. And then it kind of softens it up. You got this heavy line here, and then it just kind of softens it. Okay, so let's go back. And let's go to the drop. So now we don't have any shadow around the cup, but we've got a little bit down here. Okay, so once again, you have your controls where you can offset it more to the right, as heavy as you want to. See how that shadow gets a little heavier and thicker and further away from the cup. The angle, you can kind of just turn it. You can see it kind of turning to the left, so there's not a whole lot, and then you turn it to the right. Okay, the transparency as usual, and the blur as usual. Let's go back up here. Let's do angle. So right now we've kind of got this shadow around this cup, but it's a little thicker here and not here. So let's grab the angle and you can kind of, you're just tilting it back and forth. Let me make it real dark so that you can see. Basically it's kind of tilted, that shadow, towards the left. You can bring it up right by the cup, or you can adjust it so it kind of goes to the left of the cup, or to the right of the cup. And then you've got your blurring again, your transparency. Okay, just different effect. Let's see all again. So let's go to curved. You're bringing that, kind of the same thing the angle did to me, but it's just kind of bringing that shadow on the bottom and right in that handle back and forth. Let's go up here to the page lift. It's making the shadow all around it. So it kind of, the cup, instead of being flat to the page, pops up a little bit. So you can make that curve smaller, you can make it bigger, the offset, transparency, and the blur again. So it does make it look like, depending on what you're doing, that stands up off that page. Then we've got a backdrop. Makes that shadow further, I guess, so the light looks like it's coming at a different angle. There it's laying clear down. Transparency again. So I guess it's just all the look, whatever look that you're going for, where you want your light source to be coming from in your image. So there are lots of places. If you can't find something here on Canva that you really like, you're looking for something a little bit more specific, there are lots of places that you can go to get fonts on the internet. Just make sure that you have the correct license for those fonts. But I just think Canva is really amazing in what it offers, and I have not searched for other fonts outside of what Canva has at this point. It just really pays to play around with what Canva offers you to come up with your unique designs that will help you increase your sales. Thank you guys so much for coming along with me today. I hope I was able to show you something that you didn't already know. Please come back. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to my channel. I've got tons of ideas and tons of things that I have learned to do for my KDP books that I'd like to share with you. I try to upload a video every week that you will find interesting and learn something from. Thank you so much, and y'all have a good day.